Now we have a drug called Renogrid, which is a huge nephroprotective drug. That means it impacts the health of kidney in a way that the adverse effect can be decreased. So now we're doing a clinical trial. That's a very good example of integration, where we're taking cisplatin co-treated with Renogrid into the set of patients who are taking cisplatin, and one set of patients just taking cisplatin. And after 6 months of the constant treatment, we are following up for the kidney damage. And the Renogrid response have been fantastic indeed. So that is like very nice.
So that gives you the pleasure of the two counts. Number one is that you are integrating the medical modern medicine and try to sort of support it with this one. And second thing is any research which comes from the different than the originator has got a more authenticity.
So that is called validation, right?
Yeah, so that's a both counts.
Of course, sir.
So I would be more interested in talking to you about anything in orthopedics we can do.
Sure, sir. I have a lot of things. I heard I was primed by Bhenji. She said that I should be geared up for the queries from you. So I did a lot of homework. So then, I was just kidding, of course. But I would be very happy to take it forward. And there are a lot of things that we have been working on orthopedic area. There's a drug called Orthogrid. I'll show you some data as well, where we have induced osteoarthritis by giving a compound that kind of, dissolves the peripheral cartilage of the joint. So we can give in the palatal region. And there, when the cartilages are gone, you can see by doing in histopathology and also by radiology. And when you give this drug, Orthogrid, you start to see a beautiful regeneration. So I was like very happy to see. It happens in the animals, of course, but that's a very nice evidence that's lying up there. So I'll share those papers with you.
So the main thing is there are Ayurvedic drugs which can prevent surgery or alternative surgery. But what I was thinking is there might be Ayurvedic drug adjuvant to the surgery which will reduce the recovery period or improve the patient outcome along with the surgery, because obviously the surgery is essential in certain parts of diseases, and then if there is anything which can enhance the patient outcome.
So there is a drug called Pidanil Gold, which is actually a pain modifying drug, which also have a very strong anti-inflammatory capability. So post-surgery, if that is given, that will take care of the pain, acute pain, and also help to build from the bottom for the recovery that might has to happen for the damaged tissue. That can be done, sir. Thank you. Right, sir.
Most of the practitioners using the trained in prescribing allopathic way would be prescribing on a symptom basis. But can this medicine be also taken as a preventative measure?
Of course, of course. Ayurveda, the basic concept is to give the power to the body so that we don't fall sick. Right? So it suggests that, if we take Ayurveda or if you follow the concept of Ayurveda, we will remain free from the disease too. So preventive is a very good component. We have done the similar thing for the patients during the dengue time, right? The dengue fever comes with a season here. So during that time, if the one family member get a dengue, and then at that time, if we give this medicine, dengue nil, which is to all other family member, they remain protective. So that seems to work with the same hypothesis you have been talking about. Right. Yes, ma'am.
I was just wondering, there's probably research on local herbs in different geographies. Now that particular is expanding all over the world. And medicines, most of the, I may be ignorant of things so I think most of the medicines that are made out of the Indian herbs, like yellow and tulsi, is there research happening on local herbs which are grown in different geographies?
That's correct. So we are working on this. Right now we are in collaboration with institute in Australia, and where we are working with the herbs which are grown locally in Australia. That is happening at very significant level. The second thing, we are working with the team in the Korea, where we are comparing the impact of ginseng. Ginseng, all of you, right? The Korean ginseng versus ashwagandha. We are doing a comparative study because ashwagandha is like Indian ginseng, or ginseng is Korean ashwagandha, let's say it that way. And we try to find out how both drug works, what are their mode of actions, and how the different part of biology can be compared easily. So that work is going on. Maybe with UK we can do something, of course. Last time when I was there, I had a long chat with Mataji, and she said that something can be, of course, triggered and can be taken forward.
Can we have Ayurvedic vaccines instead of SCD vaccines?
Vaccines. That's what I call a wish list. I really would like to go that far. But right now, see, the vaccine concepts are actually different. Vaccine is the response of our human body to an antigen. When we get an infections or bacteria, virus, fungus, anything, how our body responding it to it. So it's the body's immunity that generate that sort of thing. Ayurveda would be able to help to generate that faster. We have done that work during COVID time. But as such, would that be able to do? Maybe time will tell. But it's a good thought to have. We have been thinking about other component in Ayurveda. For example, right now we do not have government approvals for injectables. Injections are not there in Ayurveda. We are working on it. Maybe probably few months down the lane, we will have first injectable approved by government coming from Ayurveda for human use. So we'll go in that direction. That will take it forward. Maybe next would be vaccines, all you know.
I got the idea from, if medicated enema can prevent, then why not injections?
Enema is still, enema is given in the part of body. Medically, that is considered still the external part of the body, right? We are two tube concept. Like our body is like one tube and there's one more tube inside. Sir can help you better on that. So it is still on the outer part of the body. When you give injections that are giving, inner part, you're putting it inside your body. There we go, ma'am. You understand better now. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
I had some onset of foot and hand eczema, and I tried the allopathic and it didn't work, and it was amazing. After a month, I felt the difference. But when I first started taking the tablets, I was concerned about the side effect of what was in the tablet, apart from the Ayurvedic herbs that I thought were in there. So, can you tell me something about the constituents of the tablets?
All the tablets of Patanjali, if you happen to read the bottle or the packet, the constituents are very well defined. It would mention that each 500 milligram of tablet contains these extracts in so many milligrams each. So then once you read it, you will realize yourself. And it's very clear, it's very transparent. And most of the drugs that we're talking about, they do not come with the side effect at the doses that you would be working. As we just talked about the adverse effect, see, adverse effects are, of course, dose dependent. For example, the two basic things of our life, water and air. We drink maybe 1.5 liter water a day. If we drink 10 liter, what will happen? Our kidneys would burst, right? So that means at higher dose, even water is going to cause side effect. Air, we are taking air here, 21% oxygen, which we are healthy and happy. If we are put in 100% oxygen air chamber, our lungs would burst. So even oxygen, which is considered pranavayu, that at such a high dose would has an adverse effect. So dose defines the toxicity. If you add the right dose at the right time, no need to worry. Go for it. Ma'am.
I think the question could be, I'm so sorry, I'm just taking on your question.
Yes.
I think the question could be because of the excipients. Because sometimes the allopathic medicines, if you look at the composition, they wouldn't talk about the excipients.
Ayurveda talk about each or our drug would mention what are the excipients. So when you take a tablet, make an extract, to convert that extract into a tablet, you have to add some binding agents to keep it tight and it should not break. Those excipients are defined in each and every tablet.
And that's exactly where the difference is, because sometimes when those excipients are not specifically mentioned, especially in the allopathic medicines. So if you take two pharmaceutical companies, I'll give you a classic example. For example, Augmentin, amoxiclav. So amoxicillin and clavulanic acid for Glaxovisions now. If you compare it with another company, which I'm not going to name,
You can.
but no, we're not here debating that. But because of the difference in the excipients used, the same salt has been shown to, it's not, the efficacy is slightly different in different patients.
So wait. So It may be possible if you have, because generally excipients are considered inert. But if some excipient has something to do to affect the plasma protein binding of a drug, it may happen. But without looking at the data, it's very hard to comment. But if you switch gear towards Ayurveda, in Ayurveda, excipients are very tiny in amount because the extract volume as such is too much. So the space to put excipients are very limited. Each tablet would have maximum 25 mg of excipient. Everything else would be the drug. In synthetic word is other way around, because a tablet is like 500 mg, the drug is maybe 100 mg at max. Everything else is that packing thing to make it look attractive, soluble, and easy to take it, and of course marketing thing too. Sir, please.
My mum recommends that I take Glory every day generally, just for general health. Is that still? Can you just talk a bit about that? Is that still the best one to take?
I take it. It's actually good. Taking a Giloy, maybe my rule of thumb, is my finger of thumb. I take finger length, finger thickness, this much stick every day, boil in water, a glass full, and once the water is half left, filter it and drink it. It tastes like tea actually, and is very healthy.
I take your tablets that you sell, because I don't have time to.
Fantastic. For people who cannot make that kala or the quath or the decoction, there exists the tablet. As we were talking about the extract, so we take an extract and convert into a tablet. So Giloy Ghanbati is the same tablet that we're talking about. A tablet a day, super good.
So the kara, could we take it just once or twice a day?
I think it depends what kind of treatment you are looking for. For healthy people, it's just once a day is considered good. But if you are looking for treatment benefit, and if your physician advise, even you can go twice, thrice, it's up to you. So the doctors would actually fix it. So everyone understood this, right? All clear? Reverse is the new way forward? Very nice. Thank you very much. Now here comes my favorite slide. This is also a futuristic slide. And I see the balance, as I was mentioning to sir, how we strike the much needed balance. And there may be a couple of questions from this slide too, right? In your exam, if that happened. Is this, that I talk about this called golden triangle approach of drug discovery. If you notice, this triangle is near impossible. If you flow the arms of the triangle, they keep on coming and you feel like this is very hard to make it. It's challenging, and that's what we are going to work it on. That we combine Ayurveda, the traditional wisdom of Ayurveda, which is there in the ancient texts for centuries, with modern science. Modern science doesn't mean allopathic system. This means all the technological advances science has made. For example, X-rays, ultrasound, MRI, CTs, these are scientific leaps and bounds from physics and the other part of science that has helped to work on the human health. If we combine Ayurveda with modern science and with modern medicine to discover evidence-based clinical practice, this would be a fantastic balance that we can strike to take Ayurveda forward. And that is the area we have been working on, combining all these three, integrating it all together and getting towards this triangle. And if you notice, there is a logo of PRF right in the center of the triangle. This is for the same purpose, that we are at the core to hit this out and should be able to take care of most of the challenges we have in synthetic world and then combine with Ayurveda. So thank you very much. You have been a fantastic audience and have been very interactive. Sir, thank you, sir. Now, any questions I have, I'll be very happy to take those on.
Is there any medicine for allergy?
Allergy, there is a lot of medicine really. As I said, allergy is a one form of inflammation. So depending what part of allergy we're talking about, there would be drugs. So you would see on this flyer, all of you got one? Right? So you would see one gentleman facing right hand side, on the back side you will see gentleman facing you. Right? So every part of the human body, what kind of disease might happen and what are the drugs that we have. It's just an introduction. This is not like a catalog of the drugs. It's just to showcase that what we have been working. So the awareness of the brands or the names happen, and most of these are available in our mega store, and some of them would be there in the UK as well, I hope. And as you can see, it's very self-explanatory that which part of the human body can get what diseases and what drugs can take care of the what symptom of a disease we are talking about. If there are any query on this flyer, please free to ask as well. Sir, please.
This is not the question, it's just simply a comment that I lived all my life on the principle of evidence-based medicine, of course, but on back of my mind, I always had the motto that the absence of proof is not a proof of absence.
Of course, sir. I totally agree with that.
So that's why I always believed, coming from Indian background, I always believed in our traditional medicine. And now you are putting the validation and scientific basis behind it, which is a fantastic work you are doing. Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Earlier on you said about the renogrid. You add lots of renogrid every day. So this could be my personal question. So what kind of adverse effect we get?
Renogrid, we have done the toxicity study in rats who have been given 12 times, no actually 14 times of human dose every day for 28 days. That's called a GLP driven tox study. And we found at such a high dose for such a long duration of dosing, there was no significant change in any parameter of the animal. We saw 33 organs. We do a histopathology, take out all organs, do all kind of blood tests, and try to measure if there is any effect we see. There was no adverse effect. For us, the no observed adverse effect level of renogrid is 1000 milligram per kg per day, which is the top dose that we can go up to. It is very safe up to that dose. Yes, one more milk or honey?
My grandmother, she's had a stroke and they've given her disprin to thin the blood. She's got blood clots, and she's lost some of her movement in her foot. And I was wondering, in Ayurveda, is there anything like that you could recommend to thin the blood?
Oh, there are known blood thinners. There are good dilators. I mean, it works in both ways. You can thin the blood or you can increase the diameter of the blood vessel. So then the flow becomes better. So those drugs do exist in Ayurveda. We have been working on a couple of them as well. Sir, please.
2023 में आप आए थे यूके में।
हाँ जी बिल्कुल।
तो क्या इसमें कुछ आगे प्रोग्रेस हुई?
किस बारे में?
क्यू गार्डन में।
क्यू गार्डन गए थे और काफ़ी लोगों से मिल के आए थे। उनके साथ हमारे कोलैबोरेशन सेटअप हुए हैं। हमारी जो बड़ी बुक्स हैं वर्ल्ड हर्बल एनसाइक्लोपीडिया जो आचार्य जी ने वहाँ प्लेस की थी, उनके बारे में बहुत अच्छे अच्छे कमेंट्स वहाँ से आ रहे हैं, क्योंकि बहुत कुछ काम आचार्य जी ने ऐसा किया है जो शायद वो लोग भी वहाँ नहीं कर रहे थे। जैसे फंजाई को लेकर जो काम हमारा वाला है वो बहुत ही बढ़िया वाला रहा है। सो उनके एंड से कमेंट्स आ रहे हैं, हमारे एंड से डिस्कशन है, कुछ कोलैबोरेशन में आगे काम भी शुरू करेंगे। बट थैंक यू फॉर रिमेम्बरिंग।
सर मेरे पापा को ना अभी क्रॉनिक लंग्स डिजीज शुरू हुआ है, क्रॉनिक ब्रोंकाइटिस, लेकिन वो मेडिसिन ले रहे हैं। अभी उन्होंने एलोपैथी छोड़ के ये शुरू किया है। बिलीव कर भी रहे हैं, नहीं भी कर रहे हैं। तो मैंने बोला कि मैं शॉर्ट ही दिला लूँ कि आपको मेडिसिन जो आप ले रहे हो उससे रिकवरी होगी। तो दैट मीन्स जो ये स्वासारी गोल्ड ले रहे हैं, स्वासारी क्वाथ ले रहे हैं, तो वो बोल रहे हैं कि शॉर्ट में रिकवर हो जाऊँ क्योंकि मामा मेरे ऐसे ही पास्ट वे हो गए।
ओके, तो वो अभी देखिए ऐसे अगर उन्हें देखिए ऐसे पाना पॉसिबल नहीं होगा, पर एक बात मैं बहुत स्ट्रांगली मानता हूँ और ये बात भी मुझे आचार्य जी ने सिखाई है। ही सेड दैट कि कोई भी दवाई शायद हमें ठीक नहीं करती, हमारा खुद का शरीर हमें ठीक करता है, राइट? सो ऑल द मेडिसिन्स दैट यू आर टेकिंग, they giving power to your body to fight the illness. That's the reason the name, if you see the drug, it's a grit. Grit is jujharupan, to power to fight. So each drug, Livogrit, will give power to liver to fight the ailment the liver might get. But finally, ultimately, it's the liver of an individual which is going to self-heal. And that healing is critical. So it depends from patient to patient, it depends from person to person, depends from organ to organ. But I believe if you have a good faith, drugs would work. Thank you, ma'am. Very nice. Yes, sir.
Is it safe to mix Western medicine with Ayurvedic without side effects?
There will not be side effects. We did this query first. So we did a co-administration of both drugs in animals and look for the plasma exposure of the synthetic drugs. For example, we have a drug for diabetes called metformin, and we have a drug from diabetes from here, Madhugrid. So we give them together and measure what was the level of metformin in the blood of the animals at different time doses, which is called pharmacokinetics. We measure and we found that Madhugrid does not impact the capability of metformin as such. Similarly, we did an experiment with cisplatin, where we give with Renogrid and find the adverse effect of cisplatin can be decreased. And the question was, does the capability of cisplatin going away? And anti-cancer capability. So we took cancerous cell lines, 6 different cancer cell lines, and gave it co-treatment, and found that all cancerous cell lines get killed by cisplatin at the same concentration, whether Renogrid present or not present. This got published in the Nature publication called Scientific Reports. So that finding is there in public domain.
I watch Asta every day
That's very nice, ma'am. Thank you very much.
in your program every day.
So do
And
I.
then again, I have to record that part from Asta to show to somebody. So do you have like your, whatever you say in Asta?
They are there on YouTube. There is a channel from Bharat Swami Trust that most of things from Swamiji, they are there on YouTube. They are there on Facebook as well from Swamiji's page. So if you go over there, last 30 minutes to 25 minutes would be mine, where you would see me speaking. Haji ma'am, please.
I watch your Asta program every day, and if I think I know somebody who needs that, all right, I just take the photographs and say.
See, so kind of you, ma'am. Thank you very much. I'm humbled. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Got our Dr. Ashok Kumar ji
Yes.
in Birmingham. He's our advisor like this. Anyway.
Okay. So he can have.
Yeah, he's working with us.
Of course. Yes, sir, please.
We've talked quite a lot about the medicine and in the field of medicine, and there's a lot to digest, and I think we had very good input. But I have also learned from our yoga book that there is a higher power works where through the adaptation of mudras and doing certain pranayams and things. So as a prescribing Ayurvedic practitioner will be also recommending those.
Of course. I think what you talked about, that's a superlative thing. If people do this, then they don't need medicine. Simple. But if people are sick, if they can do both, they can do a good yoga and good Ayurveda, they will get healthier and wealthier soon as well.
Will that type of recommendation also be validated?
Of course. So we're doing a research on yoga as well independently and trying to find out what is the impact of yoga. Now the new clinical trial coming up where we're doing yoga, Ayurveda in isolation and then in combination. So both would show that if there is some good linkage and if there is a what we call a synergy of the treatment, eventually we'll get the data as well. I'll give it a year or so, but we will do that. Thank you. Nice, sir. Thank you. Pram.